It's Ray and
Boo Radley here.
coming at you with another podcast. And this time, we're going to do a new segment that I like to call What the Hell Did I Just Read? Where basically we take news articles that we've found that have interesting, headlines and gotcha phrases and stuff to kind of pull you in. But it just hurts my head.
Yeah.
Some of these things.
We've also got some that are just going to be funny.
Yes. Yeah. So, I guess we'll take turns.
Yeah, why not?
We'll talk about it. You want to go first or you want me to?
Sure. So this first one...
Sure.
This first one here, not a big article on it, but it's got the funniest headline I've seen in a while. All right?
Okay.
Here you go. Midget sues grocer, cites belittling remarks.
God dang it. I didn't expect... None of my headlines are like that, by the way. Maybe one or two, but that's so good. That's
Isn't
so clever. Belittles. It's like Jim Carrey from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, where he tries to get a taxi cab and he's like, "It's because I'm green, isn't it?" You know. Do you think he walked right into that one? Or do you think the grocer also was getting saucy with him and kind of pissed at him? Where he's like, "Oh, look at you! Don't you have a short temper?"
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of like making fun of him even more. I do not condone making fun of small people. Small people, short people, midgets, dwarfs. What's the right phrase?
Whatever the hell you want to call them, I guess.
People, because they are people.
Yes, they are people.
All right.
You know I'm not politically correct.
I know. So, my turn then?
Yeah.
Okay. So, petition... Oh, hold on. Real quick. So, you only know the headline.
That one I'm just going off the headline. So, that was a news article.
Did you actually read the news article?
It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Where you have a midget suing a guy because he was being made fun of.
Gotcha. Okay. So, my headline, petition to move Halloween gains huge number of signatures. And the picture for this is John Carpenter's Halloween movie.
Okay.
So, the story is pretty much straightforward. There's, at the time of this article, 75,000 signatures have been signed to move Halloween off of the 31st, basically. I think it says to move it to a different Saturday or to just a different week. One of the reasonings behind it is it's time for a safer, longer, stress-free celebration. Let's move Halloween to the last Saturday of October, the petition is called, citing 3,800 Halloween-related injuries on a yearly basis. That's a lot, I feel like.
Yeah.
It says 82% of parents don't use high visibility aids on their costume, like reflective tape, glow sticks, flashlights, all that. So yeah, I just kind of find it ridiculous to move Halloween. Just keep it where it's at.
Ridiculous one.
Do you think changing it to a different day is going to help?
No, I really don't.
With the danger of it? Because isn't the danger always there? Because Halloween will always be at night, and you're always going to people's neighborhoods and going up to doors. So changing it to a different night doesn't really matter to me, I feel like, other than if trick-or-treating was in the day. But don't trick-or-treat in the day. You're gonna see a lot of nude people. So that's one of my headlines. Your turn.
Okay. Current events right now. This one is in the big one in the news as we're basically recording this. Jeffrey Epstein commits suicide in jail while on suicide watch.
Wow. So he did it.
Yeah.
He beat the system.
And there's a lot of different reporting on this, questioning on if it was maybe a murder instead of a suicide or whatever else, but
like a hitman kind of thing.
But he tried to commit it a couple weeks prior to him actually succeeding it. So he's supposed to be on suicide watch this whole time, but there's also reports that he got taken off. But it's just a funny headline to see somebody committing suicide on suicide watch.
On suicide watch, yeah.
I think they got the wrong idea. You're not supposed to watch them actually commit suicide. You're supposed to stop it.
Yeah. You have a referee or just a life coach that's going, nah, you're not doing that right. You want 8 circles around the noose, not 6. Or, hey, that razor blade isn't as rusty. Hold on. You did mention something I want to go back on. You said he attempted one other time?
Yeah, it was only like a week or 2 ago that he had tried.
So are you saying that he's 1 for 2 now? That it's a 50. His KD ratio is pretty off the chart right now. That's horrible. But isn't what was wrong with Epstein? Like, what was his big thing? Why do we care? I guess.
I think he's a pedophile.
Okay.
Like sex rings.
And that's why he was in jail?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I believe if you say allegedly after everything you say that they can't sue.
It clears you of all liability.
Like you suck, allegedly. Yeah. All right. So, great headline. Angry mom wants people without children banned from Walt Disney World.
I remember reading that. Yeah.
Yep. Basically, a woman furiously rants about Walt Disney World, about her beef of having people with no kids in the park. Basically, they make the lines too long for everybody else. They spend their money on too many toys and snacks, which apparently make the kids want them even more. It's just hell, she ends the quote with. She tweeted her rant, mainly in all caps, surprisingly. What do you think of this? Of banning people who don't have kids to go to Walt Disney World?
I mean, if you do that, you're killing a lot of the teenagers that go there, which would make the line shorter. Because the last time I was there with my kids, that seemed to be 90% of what was there was like 18 to 20-year-olds.
Yeah. Do you think Disney cares?
No. They're making money. They don't care.
Yeah. You're right.
All right.
Your turn. Your turn.
My turn.
Go ahead.
So this one is a double one, which... It's just great because this one publication double tracks on their own statement one day after they make it.
Oh.
Okay.
Love that.
So you have the first one, which is from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're getting flack for being dirty and Trump making fun of them.
Yeah, they love black people.
Yeah. We assume it was pure motives that led to Trump supporters to launch a cleanup in Cummings district, right? And it goes on to make fun of Trump supporters for coming out to Baltimore, and they took 12 tons of garbage out of that city. Over 100 volunteers. Really good thing. Whether you like Trump or not, that was a good thing from the Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Right?
Love Trump. Always have.
It doesn't say anything about him, but there are good people, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're making fun of him, and they go on to call this guy alt-right, the leader that started a cleanup crew for these predominantly black neighborhoods, right? They go all out on how he's racist, and it's just to cover for Trump. The very next day, the same paper makes a headline, Baltimore should be grateful for conservative groups' cleanup efforts. The very same paper.
Huh. I wonder if it's the same person. Or like maybe somebody didn't get the memo, or maybe it was somebody's last day, so they wrote this and then the paper was like,
right?
Why did you write that? Like, obviously they're good.
Do you think it was somebody just like 2 desks down that was like, I hate this guy, I'm gonna see if I can get him fired and get his job?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like an in-paper rivalry to see who can get the better story, to get their editor to give them the newest raise or whatever.
Yeah. Huh. Boy, do I love when people contradict themselves and then also backtrack.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's just fantastic because it's the same paper one day apart.
Also, like, where's the level of, like, making sure that people are doing what they're doing? Like, do you think they were in the lunchroom and, Scott just goes, yeah, I wrote this great paper about this white supremacist who was cleaning up the streets. And then Gary just goes, I also wrote a paper about how this conservative guy cleaned up the streets. I wonder if it's oh no. So that's...
What are you, stupid?
I don't know. That's a good question. But that's interesting. I kind of want to know more about that, but what idiots.
Yeah.
So my next article, is a young woman is forced to shave her head after she was left with huge bald patches when she used a conditioner that had been mixed with hair removal cream before she bought it at Walmart. I know I just threw a lot out there, but yeah, so apparently, by the way, so this lady who bought this shampoo, this conditioner, and was going bald from it, her mom made a post on Facebook. I love her mom's first name. It's Taffy. Taffy Joe. I'm not going to say her last name, but Taffy Joe is the rest of her name. Yeah, so her daughter bought this conditioner that supposedly had hair removal cream in it that somebody put in it. Put the hair removal cream in the conditioner, and her hair was just coming out in clumps. And you know what this kind of reminded me of, Brad? Can I call you Brad?
You can.
Thank you. Was the fact of people videotaping themselves with ice cream, licking the top of the ice cream, and then putting it back in the freezer at the store.
Yeah.
That pisses me off a lot. That I can't go to a store, buy something without feeling like somebody has already
done something to it. All for their 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, it's some douche who puts it up on their Instagram, follow us on Instagram, or their Facebook, follow us on Facebook. You know, it ticks me off that people do stuff like this. Like, I saw a picture on Facebook that some of the stores were now locking the freezers, and that you had to ask for help so people weren't following the trend, basically. But stuff like this in stores. Now, I've worked retail before. You've also worked retail before. I've heard stories of like the milk challenge where people grab jugs of milk and slam it on the ground and just go, oops, and then they fall, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's stuff like that where it's like, you're an idiot. Or people spending the night in IKEA. Like, you're trespassing. Would you say that's breaking and entering, even though the store was closed and locked while they were in there? Would you consider that breaking and entering? Because the intention...
I think you would, because the
intention was
when they hide to after the store closes.
Yeah, they hide like in a closet or underneath
I think
the
you
bed.
would count that as breaking and entering, because they knew the store was closing.
Yeah.
And they didn't alert anybody. They did it on purpose.
Yeah,
There's no difference between them hiding to stay there after it closes and them waiting for everybody to leave and breaking in.
Right. Except for they would have gotten caught, which they did get caught. They, if I'm not mistaken, they ran and got away, I believe. But they, of course, shared it on their social media and got caught. But it's stuff like that where it's like you're affecting another human being. Like, what's with you? Why do you do stuff like that? It ticks me off. And also the whole licking ice cream reminded me of when Ariana Grande, or however you say her name, licked the donut when she was high or something. Mm-hmm. Either she was high on drugs or high off of prescription pills, or maybe she had tooth work, but she was standing next to a donut in a donut shop, and she just leans over and licks it, and she got a lot of flack for it. I'm not a huge fan of her. I think she played the innocent person too much to be like, oh, I still have sold out shows, but I digress. Blue. So, your turn.
Here's a fun one. I know your Nana would love this one. Russian soldiers guard Trump's Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Some guys dressed up in Russian outfits and pretend guarded his star.
Oh, that's great. No collusion. I'm the best president in the world. No collusion at all with Russia or China. Chicky Chinese, the Chinese chicken.
China.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of his star, I think it was Mark Hamill that said that Carrie Fisher's star should replace Donald Trump's. China.
Yeah.
My turn?
Yeah.
All right. So, also in recent news, not as recent as the Epstein thing, was the two shootings that happened in 24 hours of each other. Yeah. The one in El Paso, Texas, and the other one...
Dayton, Ohio.
And a lot of news has come out from this. Our thoughts are with the family members who are affected with this. But it brings up the worst in people.
Absolutely.
And with the El Paso one, the guy was clearly targeting a certain group of people, a certain race of people, because I don't know how much you know about this, but he basically, like, his agenda has come out and all that.
It's manifesto.
Manifesto, thank you.
As you know, I'm into politics, so I obviously have heard all of this stuff.
Right, yeah. So his manifesto came out and basically was saying that he thinks that the Hispanic community is affecting Texas.
Yeah, it's an invasion.
It's an invasion.
He even put in his manifesto that he would like to see, not specifically like United States like broken up, but divided in 4 different areas where you're dividing races. I don't know if you heard about that, but like whites in one area of the country, blacks in another area of the country, Hispanics in another, and Asians in the other. Like he wants to completely segregate. Yeah, he's off his rocker.
I didn't know about that part. Yeah, no, I didn't know about that. Huh.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
People fought to not get segregated anymore. Are there going to be like 4 different how about if you want to travel?
Right?
Like if I want to go from West Coast to East Coast and I pass through certain parts, like
it's just dumb.
It is dumb. Yeah. But basically his manifesto was saying that because of the invasion, and I'm using quotes, you can't see it, but I'm using quotes, the invasion of these people of these Hispanic descents are changing Texas to a Democratic state.
Yeah.
And, like, whatever, states are Republican, Democrat, like, they go one way or the other kind of thing. But isn't that the point of the system, is to maybe have it change? If we had 50 states, if 25 were Democratic, 25 was Republican, usually a stalemate would probably happen.
Yeah, depending on which states, obviously.
So wouldn't it be beneficial to have some that change over time?
Which obviously they're supposed to.
They're supposed to.
Now,
it's part of the system.
Like I said, I read a lot of politics. I understand what the argument is. And the argument is too many illegals and we're letting them vote when they're non-citizens, which is changing it blue without... It's unnecessarily changing it blue because it's not the actual citizens voting. And I understand that.
I do too.
Which obviously there are some. There always are some people that break the rules and, you know, they register themselves 2 times, 3 times as a dead family member. There's illegals that are going to vote. But even as somebody that considers themselves more on the right, it's not as big of an issue as some people on the right make it seem. Like, it's not 11 million people that are all of a sudden voting and doing it, you know, and changing it blue.
Exactly.
But I understand the argument. And yeah, it's an issue. You need to crack down on that type of stuff. Make sure that it's citizens that are the ones that are doing the voting. But this is not a way to stop it. This is a retarded way of one crazy person that thinks he knows what's right, and he's absolutely wrong in this whole thing.
Exactly. And I can tell you're getting choked up a bit. And exactly, like, he went into this Walmart to specifically target a certain race. I don't know if you've looked at the group of people that he killed. He killed what, like 23 people, upwards of 20, or injured at least upwards of 20?
I think he killed over 20 and like injured more than that.
Yeah.
Compared to the Dayton guy that killed 9 and injured like 23.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen the list of the people that have died from this guy, but most of them weren't Hispanic at all.
No, whatever his beliefs were, he honestly just went in for killing. It doesn't matter what he thinks he was doing. He went into a random place because he knew he wouldn't get, and he says it in his manifesto, go somewhere where you're not going to get resistance. Don't go against security guards. Don't go against cops. Go somewhere where you will have no resistance. So he went to a Walmart and started spraying whoever the hell he wanted.
Right. But in his manifesto, didn't say he was clearly targeting Hispanics.
No.
No?
No. He makes a point to say that they're invasion and stuff like this, and that the Democrats are trying to take over by getting their votes, but he never specifically says, I'm going there to kill them for this purpose. Now, he obviously went to a place that was 80% Hispanic, which is in El Paso.
You know what? I think it's after they captured the guy. I think that's what he said after the fact.
And that possibly. I haven't kept up on much the police interrogating him
Right.
and stuff.
So that's what I've heard, is that was the main demographic he was trying to. And one of the sad stories from this, I mean, it was all sad, but one of the sad stories was, have you heard about the mother carrying her baby? Have you heard that story?
Refresh me, because there's another baby story that's fucked up.
She was carrying her baby, who she just had the kid like 6 months ago, something like it was still a infant baby, and she was running from the gunman. So she was there with her husband, who just got married like a year ago, with her baby, getting school supplies for their other kid who was at home. And as she's like running away, the gunman clips her with a couple of rounds, and she falls, protecting her child, falls on the baby, and the baby sustains injuries from her mother protecting her, but also falling on her.
Yeah.
And the baby does have injuries. I believe the baby is fine. She's not, or the kid, I don't know the sex of the baby, but isn't in any critical condition, but is still recovering from all that. But yeah, it's just.
Did the mother die?
The mother died.
So I wonder if this is one of those parts that I have seen a fucked up story part.
So real quick, the mother did die. The baby is around, but I haven't heard anything recently. But the father's missing.
Yeah. I think this is the same baby that Trump was holding, that everybody's making fun of the picture, which, all rights, make fun of the picture. He looks like an idiot with Melania Trump?
Go for it.
Whatever. His wife,
Ivanka,
the first lady, is holding the baby, and Trump's sitting there with his thumbs up, smiling. Like, obviously, yes, you have a camera on you. This is a bad look for you, man. Do not be smiling holding the kid of one of the victims that just died. Like, do what the other presidents have done during all these other ones. Go meet other family members that are adults. Hug them. Console them. Don't carry a freaking baby. It looks super bad, dude. No matter what you're going after, that was a horrible decision. And rightly make fun of him for that. Like, that was stupid.
The thumbs up really kind of...
The thumbs up is retarded.
Know your audience kind of thing.
But anyways, getting into this story, I think what we were leading to is some of the dumb headlines and the idiocy coming from the president and some other people. Here's one, and it's from another organization, not even from Trump, but it goes off of his remarks. Dear President Trump, video games are so much more than violent. No, they're not. They're trying to blame this on video games.
Which they've done almost every single, like, mass shooting.
Yeah.
They've always blamed video games, but it's just...
If it was video games' problem, why are there not, like, more... When you have how many millions of people play GTA Online?
Yeah.
Or Call of Duty? Or Overwatch? All these games where you're killing people. Why are there not more?
Right.
Why is it not every freaking corner in America are there deaths because kids are learning to kill off of video games? Yeah. Like, honestly, that's like watching a movie or something and just being like, oh, well, there's death in Stranger Things, so obviously Stranger Things is causing death.
Exactly. Like, you're absolutely right. You and I are both big video game people.
Yeah.
And I saw this headline and I just go, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Because if anything, entertainment alone, if you're putting a single thing in entertainment being video games is the problem, then why not say movies and TV shows and any sort of entertainment is the problem? It's freaking like Equilibrium, the movie, where emotion is basically taken out of everybody's daily life and the world runs smoothly. Yeah. Like, it's stuff like that. It ticks me off because, like you said, in other regions, why isn't this happening in other parts of the world?
Yeah.
Why isn't this happening in Australia, Germany, England, where they also get video games?
Yeah.
Yet they're not going out and shooting. I mean, granted, England and Australia, I believe, have
they're much stricter on stuff.
Yeah, they're stricter on the gun rules. I don't know about Germany, but still, it's not a video game problem. It's a mental health problem, I would say, even more. That people get on the bandwagons, I would say.
It's also a loss of purpose.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that it's more of the fact. I'm not saying like guns are the problem or there's like an easy solution to solve for guns, because there isn't. It's like immigration. There isn't an easy way for immigration to solve it.
Yeah.
But doing our best is what we can do. But just blaming it, because honestly, blaming video games is the easy out.
Yeah, it is an easy out. Honestly, I feel it's the same as say what you will about guns, but blaming guns is an easy out. You can't cure evil.
Yes.
There's idiots out there that want to cause harm.
Exactly. And, there's the stories of, like, because, I mean, with the El Paso shooting, it was said that he's a big video game person.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look at, I don't know how long ago it was, but there was the military shooting where a guy at a military base unloaded on his companions and just started shooting the people at the military base.
Yeah.
That guy has military training. I mean, I support the troops. You support the troops. We've had family members in the military. Gage is a military person, but you don't see Gage going out there with a automatic weapon and mowing down people. No, because he's a sane person.
Yeah.
The person in El Paso had a problem. He thought his only solution was to make a name for himself by going on a mass shoot.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
It sucks. And like I said, there's not an easy solution for gun control because, there's that argument of, well, criminals don't follow the law. That's why they're criminals. And I get that. That's why, no, I don't think the solution is to take away everybody's gun because if you're a criminal, you're going to find a way to get a gun.
Yep.
If anything, invent a time machine. Don't ever invent a gun or go back and stop the person from inventing the gunpowder. But even without that, evolution...
It'll find a way.
It will find a way.
There's no way. I mean, no, there is no simple solution. I mean, the big push now is you have the left complaining that they're not passing the background check bill. Like, that's the big complaint, is the Republicans aren't getting on board. They're not passing this bill. Both of them didn't have a criminal record. It wouldn't have stopped them from buying a gun.
Exactly.
So you can expand the bill all you want. It wouldn't have stopped these two from this.
Exactly.
Nothing that they're proposing would stop it. And because they can't come up with a good solution, let's blame video games.
Exactly.
It's retarded. These are just dumb, evil people that wanted to do something bad, regardless of their ideology. Because if you're looking at it, the guy that did it in Dayton looks like he was a left-wing nut job. So you have one from the right and one from the left.
Yeah.
So they're both evil. It doesn't matter what you think.
Video game is the easy out.
Yeah.
But it's not that's not the problem. Because I'm not violent because I play video games. I'm violent because of stuff that has happened in my life. I've had a very nice life. I'm not as violent. I'm a go happy kind of guy, but I mean, I get angry once in a while, but that's once in a while.
Yeah.
It's not a solution.
No, at this point, it looks like it's one thing. So you have people on the left want to blame guns. So they blame guns. The people on the right, for the most part, are big gun guys. So they don't want to blame the guns. But if they keep yelling mental health, the left yells at them for making fun of, being ableist and making fun of mental health. So what did they go for? They went for fucking video games.
Yep.
It was just a cop-out so they could blame something because they didn't want to say it was the same thing that's going to get them yelled at.
So I do have to say, I'm not a big Trump person. I try to stay kind of out of politics where I can, but I'm not a big Trump person. I do have to say, I do agree with one thing that I heard recently that he said, is that bringing back the death penalty. I do agree with that. Where, I don't know...
Yeah, the DOJ just brought it back after 5 years or something of not doing it.
Yeah. I don't believe, but I think that's a good move in the sense of bringing it back, because one of these things that I hate with these mass shooters is that they either get shot down, which is fine if they're able to stop the attack where they can, good. But it's usually that's the plan all along, is to just
murder or suicide by cop.
Suicide by cop. Or they get arrested and they plead mentally unstable, and so they have to go to a psychiatric ward or whatever, which I think is BS. If they're capable of taking lives, they're capable of facing an actual trial, I feel like.
Well, not only that, if they were capable of coming up with an entire plan involving buying guns, ammo at a separate time, coming up with the plan, buying the other freaking gear, figuring out when would be the best time to do it and executing it, you're obviously not that mentally unstable.
Right. The other thing I kind of hate is them going through the trial, which takes a very long time, and then say they do get the death penalty or whatever, they appeal. I hate when they appeal.
By the way, it's bullshit you get 6 appeals.
Yes.
If anything, it should be 2. 1 local, 1 Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't pass it after 2 appeals, fuck you, you're dead. Like,
Well,
especially when you have these cases, they're caught on tape, hundreds of freaking witnesses. Like, there's no doubt in our mind. It wasn't like it was done late at night with some grainy video back in the 80s. This is
or a
literally
ski mask.
like right now, there's nothing covering your face, and we caught you in the act of doing it.
Yeah, there's several.
Duh, you did it. We don't need the trial. Just down him then.
Yeah, especially since I believe the El Paso shooter did like immediately like it was me. Like
yeah. Well, they stopped him. They have him in custody and everything.
Exactly. So he's already claimed like, yeah, I did this.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in seeing if he just pleads guilty, or if he draws it out and pleads not guilty. I'm interested to see that, plus if he claims insanity, and also how many appeals he'll get. But yes, I think death penalty. If you are able to take a life, I think the right thing, not the right thing, but the thing that should be followed up is death penalty. If you are good, now granted, there are case-to-case kind of things, and that's where the legal system needs to kind of work its magic. But, like, we have the El Paso guy dead to rights.
Yeah.
He should maybe get 2 appeals. I agree with the local and the federal getting those 2 appeals. That's fine. But I don't think he should claim insanity, and I don't think he should absolutely get the death penalty, because of the kills he has alone, he should get the death penalty.
Well, it doesn't matter, even if he pleads insanity. Either way, this guy's going away for life.
Mm-hmm.
He can be insane. He's still going to go away for life. It just may mean he has a cushier bed. But what's the difference between putting somebody down and holding them for life? The purpose of jail and prison is to reform somebody. You can't reform them if they're never going to leave.
Yeah, you're not reforming.
You're not reforming at that point.
Well, also, like, if you do the death penalty, you're not going to have to pay for his 3 meals a day, and it opens up for another person.
And we're not
claim.
saying, like, death penalty for everybody that murders or something like that. I mean, this is obviously a clear-cut case. This is not, like, a random, like, break-in and somebody murdered some wife or whatever. There's a long, drawn-out trial, and it possibly could be somebody else. There's no doubt. Like, there's a difference between a case where there's absolutely no doubt and one where there could be doubt, where you could be putting down an innocent man.
Yeah.
And there should be a huge distinction on that.
Exactly. I agree. And honestly, I don't know if you watch The Daily Show with Trevor Noah a lot.
Not much. Number 1, I don't have cable, really. Number 2, I'm not a huge Trevor Noah fan.
You like Jon Stewart more?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I don't watch a lot either, but I do like them on Facebook, and I saw this quote that he said. I don't know if you saw this, but I actually agree with him quite a bit. He says, this is Trevor Noah saying, "The argument that we lose more lives to medical errors and car accidents than guns fundamentally misses the human element of what Americans are fighting for, and that is trying. Medical errors happen, but we try to minimize them with new laws and new systems. Car accidents happen, so to drive a car, you need a license. Dangerous cars are banned, and there are random stops to check for drunk drivers. That's the difference. Trying. We try to keep stuff to a minimal, but the people going out there with guns and purposely shooting down people, again, video games aren't the problem. Car accidents, you can't compare the two. It's apples and oranges at that point. You can't compare the two because, I mean...
I can somewhat agree with that. I can somewhat disagree. But that's just because I understand where that's coming from, and that's a gun debate one. But...
Right. And I'm not saying take away all the guns. I'm just saying that to blame something so easily isn't the right thing to do. But maybe checking on a couple of things before just saying guns are the issue. I mean... At that point, if we're trying to cut down on deaths in the world, well, how about we take away the guns, take away the cigarettes, take away the alcohol, take away all the vices, and take away vending machines at that point, because apparently vending machines kill more people than sharks kill people. So how about we just...
Hey, apparently so do feral pigs.
Well, Brad, that's a new one. I didn't know that one. So
84 people a year.
Good God.
Yeah.
Gross. I've seen Deadwood where they literally feed people to pigs, and that's gross. But anywho, I don't think guns are necessarily the issue, and I don't want to blame mental health, but it leads more to the mental health than
there needs to be a bigger talk than just guns bad,
video games bad, me caveman.
Yeah, there actually needs to be a conversation instead of us just yelling at each other.
Exactly.
Whether you're on one side of the aisle or the other, it's retarded. People need to learn to get together and work on shit instead of just blaming other people.
Yeah.
But how about we move on?
Hold on. I do have one more thing.
Okay.
I do have one more thing. Another thing I saw is, I don't know if you've heard, but Walmart is taking down violent video game displayers. Like,
Walmart also just recently came out and said that's fake news.
oh,
that
is
they
it?
Weren't.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, then
Misreported.
this next thing I was gonna read was somebody tweeted out saying Walmart has decided to stop running violent video game ads in their stores, but will continue to sell guns. So I guess if that is truly fake news, but still, I've been hearing reports that Walmart employees from El Paso, Texas, don't want to come back to work, which is understandable, but because of the PTSD that happens with that. So to end this week's segment of What the Hell Did I Just Read, I have a lighter note story. This one I saw on Jimmy Fallon. The title of the article is Ohio Mother Shows Up to Daughter's Wedding with a Wedding Dress On, which I don't know if people know is a big no-no.
Yeah.
It says this Amy is the lady who just got married. Tweeted out, my mother-in-law wore a wedding dress to my wedding, so yeah, top that one, is what she said. And she gave a nice little picture of her by her mother-in-law in both of them wearing wedding dresses, and her fist is clenched. So I actually read the article, and it took a long time. Whoever wrote this article, too many words, honestly, too many.
They're just trying to get their Pulitzer.
Yeah. But basically, Amy, the daughter, is cool with it. Basically, she's like, I love my mother-in-law to death. She's a great grandmother to my kids. And the main thing of why she wore a wedding dress was she's a bargain shopper, and she saw this wedding dress. She saw this wedding dress on sale, but she didn't mention it to her daughter-in-law.
Hashtag when you can't pass up a deal.
Pretty much, but they're very nice to each other. It was more of just a funny thing. But so that was the last article I had for now.
All right.
We still have our
pick of the week.
That's right, Brad. I'm so glad you remember how this show works.
Thanks, Mike.
You can't call me Mike.
Ray?
That's better.
All right.
So, Brad, do you have a pick of the week?
I do have a pick of the week.
Okay, go for
it. In commemoration of this, I'm going to go one of my favorite games.
Video games?
Favorite video games.
Okay.
Especially to keep it within the theme. So, one of my favorite video games, a little bit more violent, PlayStation 2 era, by the way. Area 51.
Okay, go on.
It's freaking fantastic.
Real quick, I do have a question. Are you going to rate it Area 51?
No.
Okay.
I'm not stupid. I don't want to die.
You're smart.
Yeah.
Good.
So, it's a first-person shooter. Obviously, walk around with some AKs and stuff and go shoot some aliens. A little violent, as some would say. Trump. But
you're trying to goat yourself.
I am trying to goat myself on that one. But it's got 3 people voice act this. So you have David Duchovny voice acts the main guy. Powers Booth voice acts the colonel.
Okay.
At the base, which is just amazing. And Marilyn Manson is the alien. But it's basically a new take on the old arcade game.
I'm sold.
Yeah. So there's even like one of the levels where you can find that arcade game.
Oh,
the
cool.
old Area 51 in there. It's actually a really fun game.
That's cool. I kind of want to play it just to hear the voice acting.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. So I guess my pick of the week. I'm gonna go with a book.
Yeah.
A book that has made me violent. I would say. The book I'm gonna pick is a book called Black Hawk Down. It's written by Mark Bowden. It just goes over the events of a crashed Black Hawk helicopter in the area of Mogadishu. Mogadishu, and it's a really good book. He details a lot of stuff, and what I love about the book is that they put a lot of maps in there, so you know like the position of each soldier and which direction they're facing and where the enemy is coming through. And it's just a really good book, really good read. And the movie is also fantastic if I want to add that in, but the book is really good. I read this back in high school and loved it and had to do a book report on it and all that jazz, but really good story. The events happened in 93 of this Black Hawk helicopter crashing, and but it really shows the author really does a great job of following the details of each soldier involved and how they came to rise above to get out of that horrible situation. Overall, really good book, worth the read, worth the watch of the movie, and obviously, books causes violence too, so, pick it up.
All right.
Yeah. I think that pretty much sums up this podcast.
Yeah.
You're a son of a bitch.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's where we will leave you. Have a good day.
Later.
Peace out.